So we have our front facing and our back neck facing in our fashion fabric. I'm going to use red thread in hopes that you can see the stitching. When I chose this linen fabric, I thought it would be, because it was, you know, solid or yarn dyed, I thought it'd be easier to see, and then I'm noticing in the videos it kind of vibrates, but I've already cut out the dress, so I'm continuing with it. All right, so I've got my back facing and I've got my front facing. I'm gonna open up my front facing, and you're gonna place the shoulder of the facings together, right sides together. Now I don't have a right and a wrong side to my fabric, so I don't have to maybe be quite as careful as you do. But again, right sides together. So if you have a printed fabric, you want the pretty side of the print on the inside. Right sides together, place a couple of pins. We're going to sew the shoulder seams at 5/8 inch seam allowance. Now, while I'm here pinning the shoulders and doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and do the inner facing too. So this is what's unusual about this technique. It is a little different. So I'm removing the pins, and here I've got my center front. Okay, now you'll have to be careful with this because the inner facing has a right and wrong side to it, and it's kind of hard to tell. The right side is smooth. The wrong side is very bumpy because that's the glue on the inner facing. So you want to open it up with the smooth side as the right side. All right, and do that, and then again you're going to pin your shoulder seams together just like we did with the actual facing fabric. All right, so this is my smooth, so I want to make sure I place the smooth sides right side together. Yeah, smooth. Okay, good. All right, and then also put a pin or two, line up your sew line. I've got to move that. There's my sew line right there. So your sew line is where that intersects at 5/8 of an inch. Okay, and now we're going to sew the shoulder seams at 5/8. So you're looking for your 5/8 inch mark on your guide. You can see I've got my lead in there that I had from the last time I sewed. I had my lead in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stitch, back stitch, and continue 5/8 of an inch and back stitch. And then I'm just gonna pull the next shoulder right up there and continue. So I don't need my lead in because the next shoulder is my lead in. So I'm just going right in, lining that up, back stitch, and carry on. And you can see, yes, I was sewing over a few pins. I've been known to do that before, but if you place your pins perpendicular to the seam that you're making, most likely you will not hit the pin and break a needle. All right, back stitch, and now we're doing the inner facing. Where's my little lead in? I think I'll just sew right into my little lead in again. I like doing that. And save myself a few inches of thread. Okay, now you can cut all that apart. See all the thread you save by doing that? Because each time you would stop and pull the thread, you know, it's 4 or 5 inches of thread usually. We used 1/4 of an inch there. So anyways, and then you just cut away those little. And we are now ready to do the next step. Okay, so I have the neck facing laid out now. So again, we've sewn the shoulder seams right sides together, and I'm going to go ahead and press the shoulders open. Okay, now we're going to pin. You cannot press the shoulder seams open on the interfacing because you would glue it to your iron. But we're going to turn this over now. So now we've got right sides up. And we're going to place the interfacing right sides together. Okay, you want to line up the shoulder seams. All right, now we're going to pin this outer edge. So not the edge that's sewing to the neck, but the outer edge. All right, and so I can see my center front. Okay, I'm going to see, you can finger press that seam. And actually we're going to pin to the outer edge. So I'm making sure that's lined up. And then I'm going to just continue all around the outer edge, not the edge that will sew to the neck, but the outer edge, because we're going to sew that first.